Welcome to the Savvy Spirit Podcast. I'm Sharon Moore, your host and creator of the Savvy Spirit Entrepreneur Program. This podcast features conscious women entrepreneurs whose businesses are built on their unique gifts and are making the world a better place. You're going to learn about their journeys, their courage, their resilience, and their truth. So enjoy the show, feel the love, and get inspired. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Tonight we have our guest, Kelsey Lowitz. And Kelsey has devoted herself to healing and is currently working with her clients on the whole person level. She works with her clients and her patients to bring them whole life balance. So Kelsey, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much.
So Kelsey, I understand that you are both a coach and an acupuncturist. Did I get that right?
You have that right. Yes, I am a transformational life coach and I'm working with the Whole Life Leadership Program. That's my current program I'm coaching with. And I'm an acupuncturist and herbalist as well.
And so how does that work together, both the transformational coaching with the acupuncture? How do they overlap?
Well, for people who live in the Bay Area, they overlap. So if someone can come and be a part of the coaching program and get acupuncture to kind of balance the body with the mind and spirit, then it works together. But actually, most of my business is separate still. We're moving in the direction of having it be totally integrated, but I have coaching clients in London and Cincinnati and Chicago and LA and even my coaching clients, who live in the city, I don't consider super local. Yeah. My Oakland coaching clients, like people who really are right here, who can do coaching and acupuncture together, then we do a combined program. But that's honestly just growing. That's part of this new whole life leadership program that I'm starting to talk about. And as that gains momentum locally, I think we'll have more people doing both. But right now it's actually pretty separate.
All right, Oakland listeners, you got the best offering. You get to do both over in Oakland. And your office is in Oakland proper?
Yes, it's right near Lake Merritt, on the lakeshore side of Lake Merritt. So for those people I offer, you get this 6-month coaching program plus, acupuncture twice monthly. I mean, and I feel like, ideally, you can get through a lot of blocks if you're working with the mind and the body at the same time.
That's what I would think. That's interesting to hear. I didn't realize you work with so many people remotely, because when I looked at your website, I thought it was brilliant that you're bringing in, hey, let's take care of some of those energetic blockages while we're transforming your life.
Well, and I do that for my acupuncture clients, of course. Not all of them have become coaching clients too. So there's like this independent with a little bit of overlap. I'm picturing like the Venn diagram, where my sweet spot is really that overlap. Mm-hmm. But I do plenty of coaching with my acupuncture clients, and with my coaching clients that are remote, I still talk a lot about health stuff, and we'll do, I'll introduce them to Qigong exercises or tapping or, other anxiety busting breath work, things that are, shy of putting needles in someone, but are still using the same concepts of energy and meridians and health and wellness. And that's part of what I think makes me different from just every coach, is that I have this real mind, body, spirit connection background with my master's in Chinese medicine. And so I can recommend and I can send people herbs, that I haven't seen in person, right? Oh, well, you have this going on. Well, you need these Chinese herbs. So I can do that part of it over the phone too.
Amazing. So whether you're officially doing the sweet spot or just coaching, you're going to get access through working with you to all the mind, body, soul, where they all unite.
Yes, exactly. Because you can't sit there and talk to me about how anxious, how, your work is, and you're so anxious and all this anxiety without me telling you or asking you about your exercise and your diet and your sleep and all those other things that keep the body balanced.
Love it. And so have you always been on the path of being a healer? How did you get here? How did you land right here in the sweet spot?
Well, I think I've always, I mean, obviously when I really sit with it, I do think I've always been on this path, but I took a big diversion for most of my adult career. I was I went to Brown for college, and at Brown, you can just take classes in whatever is most interesting to you. And I did have a major, which was human biology.
I figured you did have a major.
Right, with the focus on brain and behavior. So when I really was like, what are the classes that are most interesting to me? It was like the neuroscience and the social psychology and the cognitive sciences and psychology and chemistry. And so I was definitely like sciencey, brain, anthropology, like how does this whole world, how do our mind, body, spirit, through time, how we evolved, evolutionary biology. So that was like what my passion was, as a young person.
Wow.
And then I became a science teacher. I taught science to middle and high school.
Love it.
I know. And then I went into biotech for a little while, and I was doing clinical trials and biotechnology. And so I was using science. And then I just kind of got waylaid a little bit. I got success driven, which is part of my sort of my pattern, or I was driven by the success and the climb, the career climb. And so I just kept getting new jobs where, they gave me what they wanted me to do, their goals, and I would do them and move up and make more money and have more responsibility. And so I climbed the corporate ladder at sort of a couple technology companies. And then I ended up at Leapfrog and then art.com until I was like, doing email marketing for art.com. And I was like, what am I doing here? What happened was I had this moment like on my 37th birthday where I was meditating. And I literally heard a voice or something. I can't describe it exactly. It was more diffuse than that, but it was like, you have to quit. Like, this isn't your path. You can't do this. What are you doing? And that's when I left and became a coach. And so that was in 2009. And that was the part that I was most engaged with and most motivated by. I was having a lot of success and obviously moving up the corporate ladder, getting more and more praise and money and obviously, but I looked ahead and I was like, is that the boardroom table I want to be at? Are these my people? Is this are these my gifts?
Right.
And I was like, no. I mean, I think part of my gift was the mentoring and the management and the really understanding people. And that's what was getting me a lot of success. But that I was like, well, why don't I just do that? And that's when I left and became a coach.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah. I so relate to that. And in what you just talked about, you actually hit upon two of the three things that I have noticed are part of the winning formula for us entrepreneurs, but the kind that are out doing good in the world. And my three pillars there are, owning, loving, and bringing out to the world your unique gifts, right? That mentoring that you were talking about, that understanding the people. And the second piece is surrendering to the universe.
Yeah.
Stopping with the control, but actually surrendering, which you also brought up. And then, of course, the last piece is the business smarts, which you need as an entrepreneur. But I think those three need to have equal weight. And, sometimes it sounds like you knew what your unique gifts were, but how did you actually get from, I recognize this is my unique gift, to having the courage to owning it and loving it and bringing it out to the world?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it wasn't overnight, right? So
it never is.
It's been a journey, and it's been a lot of trust and just moving forward. I got the coaching training and I became a coach, and I was coaching for a few years. And then I was like, okay, I think there's something more. I really, have this strong belief and passion about the mind, body, spirit connection. And I didn't really feel like I had access to the body. I did become a yoga teacher. And so I was embodied and I understood, the connection in that way. But I was like, I think there's more. And I come from a family of doctors, and my dad was a doctor. And I kind of always thought at some level like that health and wellness was in my bag of
DNA.
tricks.
Yeah,
in my DNA, exactly. And Anyway, I actually started a different program. I started a master's program in integrative health at CIIS. And after a semester in that, I was like, wait a minute, this is still not it. And long story short, I came to, oh yeah, I want to actually be a healer, not learn about, about health. I want to actually do it. And so that's when I went back to school to become an acupuncturist or to get the master's in Chinese medicine. And so then I was coaching. I was doing my master's from 2011 to 2014 while I was coaching. So I was building my coaching business while I was getting the master's in Chinese medicine. And then in 2015 is when I launched the integrated business where I do both. And now 2017 has been really about building these programs, which can bring them together. And then in 2018, I hope to kind of bust out one level further and be like, yeah, this is what I do. I help people in both these realms come together, get this integrated coaching and acupuncture experience to really heal and become the leader that you're meant to be in your life so that your work and your career can feel more easy and joyful and successful.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And, just in your stories, you embody this so beautifully. I'm curious if you're even aware how you embody this, but the second piece that I talk about, the surrendering to the universe, already I've heard you be able to do that in two pieces. One, when you heard that voice when you were meditating on your 37th birthday, and two, when you were in CIIS, something told you, hey, this isn't right.
Yeah.
So are you able to identify, well, how did I know to trust this voice? I mean, I imagine many of us, if we're listening, hear that voice, but how many of us actually take the step to go into action once we hear that voice?
Yeah, I don't know how I know, but I do. And I have a really strong gut heart. I have gotten a human design reading chart done, and it's actually part of my program that I offer to my clients now. Is I have them do one session with a colleague of mine who does human design chart, and it's about sort of how you're built. It's like a mix of like the I Ching and the Kabbalah and the astrology and whatever. It's super cool. But I am really open in a couple of my energy centers where I get a lot of information through other people and other things. But one place that I have a strong inner knowing is in my gut.
Clearly.
And I don't know. I don't know how I know. I just, those are the few situations where I was like, yeah, this isn't it. I think I just, I trust myself. I believe in myself and I don't let fear hold me back very much. So most people, after spending whatever I spent in the first semester, $6,000 in the one semester of a 4-semester program, right? Like I could have just done it, would have been like, well, I already started, I should finish. But I just knew my inner knowing. When I go from the not knowing to the knowing, it's pretty clear.
And frankly, I love the answer. I don't know how I know. I just do. I love that answer.
Yeah. Part of what it takes, or what it's taken for me in my life, is to be okay in the not knowing space where like, okay, I don't know. I'm actually, just had a conversation about, some personal stuff right now where I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just going to sit in the not knowing until I know.
Yeah. Sit in the not knowing, trusting that at one point you will know.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And what I try to do with my clients, and so I do with myself too, is just to really make sure that I'm not listening to my inner critic that's holding me back, or a fear voice that's like, you should stay or you should go, right? It's just, can you just make sure you're not being held back by your saboteur, your inner voices that hold you back, and just say, I'm not in action right now because I don't know, not because I'm holding myself back from a knowing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so combined with that, so here you have that strong intuitive voice, the ability to discern, am I sabotaging or am I following my intuition? And then here you suddenly are a business owner. How did you step into being a business owner? Are there any challenges or things that you've had to learn along the way, or how have you been able to, kind of discern and say, this is what I want to spend my time on. This is what I'm delegating. Like, how does that third leg of the stool, the business smarts, come into play?
Oh, that's a good question. So I feel lucky because obviously I came from the corporate world. So I had, over a decade of business experience, which I think helped me have a leg up, at least in terms of like, how do I, manage the beginning of my coaching business when I was doing it just like in Excel, how many hours, who did I coach for how many hours, and how do I do the billing, make a Word document. It was all pretty manual and also I had the luxury, it grew sort of organically and slowly over the first few years. So I was able to sort of build my systems up around me.
Mm.
But over the past 2 years, really, it's been like, okay, you got to get QuickBooks, you got to understand accounting and the billing software and, how your credit card invoices go through, I've hired people to help me, with accounting and stuff that I don't like to do. And, or that someone else could do it better, faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also really liked learning all the pieces of the business. I think as I grow even more in 2018, it's going to be delegating even more. I do have like a virtual assistant who like sets up my email campaigns in MailChimp and, outsourcing the pieces that can be outsourced,
I love that you just said that. I love it. Yeah, you can like learning it, but the truth is if your gift is about the connection with the humans, the making them feel seen, making them feel understood, for you to be doing the accounting, that's a little bit of a waste of your gift.
Right. Exactly.
So I love that you were able, again, discernment comes, right? And that we got to put that in your unique gifts as well. Because you obviously discerned, okay, yeah, I'm liking learning it. And yes, I can build systems and automate it, but where do I really want to be spending my time? What is my gift and how do I offer that to the world?
Right. And that's actually, something I hope to do even more of in 2018, like really make sure that the low impact, low value tasks for my time, I don't have to do anymore.
Sounds like 2018 is going to be a good year, people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and 2017 has been awesome too. One thing, I think you asked me another question about getting into the business thing. I also worked with a business coach,
Mm-hmm.
and one of her principles is about the cycles of nature and how, you can't be on all the time, right? Like, just like there's spring, summer, fall, winter, right? There's like a rooting and a nesting phase. And that really helped me. I'm kind of like in 2016, I was like all on all the time, go, go, go. I was accepting all sorts of insurance for my acupuncture practice. I was seeing like 16 patients a day sometimes. It was crazy. And then I was like, okay, that's actually not a good use of my time and energy either. So really learning that like the rest stage and the planning stage and the rooting down stage is really important for the blossoming and the sprouting and the growing stage. And so that's kind of what I've been playing with this year.
I love how you interweave so many different things that you've gone along the way. Human design, this concept of seasonality. It sounds like you're kind of an eternal learner, and then all the things that you learn, you interweave back into your business.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's exactly right. I'm such a seeker, and understanding the human condition, myself included, and how it works best for me to be the leader in my life, then I can share that with others.
Yeah.
I think what part of the sweet spot in my coaching program and who I think benefits best from my services are women in the corporate world who are trying to live their best, healthiest lives, but also be the best leaders that they can be. This line between feeling like in order to work your way up the corporate ladder, you have to do everything for everybody, faster, better, stronger, smarter. Yeah. And then you get to the certain level. Well, that kind of like pushing isn't actually what's going to really have you lead your best life and be the best leader. So there's this boundary setting, knowing when and how to say no, what is yours, what is somebody else's, what can be better delegated in the work world so that you can elevate yourself to be a better leader and bring people up. So it's sort of, I can use my corporate experience. That's the experience I had in the corporate world. Mm-hmm. And now I'm using that same experience to coach people through that process in the corporate world. But I'm also still doing it in my world. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think that's what a healthy healer is doing. It's not, I know everything and I'm going to teach you. It's that I am on the same path as you, and everything that I learn, I'm going to offer, and I'm going to learn from you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So of course that makes sense. So how do people hear about you? I got to believe people now are like salivating. They want a piece of this. They want to go in and work with you. How do they find out more?
Well, I have a website, so you're welcome to go to my website, which is kelseylowitz.com, KelseyLowitz.com. I know it's a mouthful, but it's my name. And I have stuff about both my coaching and my acupuncture on that website, and you can sign up for my email list. I also have a Facebook page, Kelsey Lowitz Integrative Health. And you can read about me there, and you can reach out.
And are you taking new patients? Do people have to wait on a wait list? Like how would that work?
I do have some spots for new patients, obviously schedule permitting, depending, everybody wants my 5:00 appointment, my 5:30, but I do have open appointments, and scheduling far enough in advance, you can definitely get in. And I have a few spots in my coaching program as well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Kelsey, I think I made a little note here. I love that you just said the seasonality bit. I often like to end with a little tip or advice for our listeners. And I just love what you said of, here I was. And I think a lot of women do this. You said in 2016, I was just on. I can do this. I got it. And it's so important for us women to actually know, you know what? We have seasonality. There are times when we're on, and there are times that we need to just hibernate and take care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that is just such an important thing to remind all of us go-getter women. So thank you so much for actually sharing that piece.
You're welcome. It's a piece that I firmly believe, and also Chinese medicine is all about living with the seasons and eating with the seasons, and so it's a nice interweaving of a lot of my belief systems into one concept.
Beautiful. Well, Kelsey, it has been a treat. Thank you so much for being on our show. To all you listeners, I will include her website, her bio, more information about Kelsey on the webpage. Come and visit it. Come and visit her. And Kelsey, thank you for the inspiration that you just provided us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharon. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. I hope you feel inspired and connected and alive. And hey, if you enjoyed the show today, leave us a review. And of course, if you want more, you can find us online at thesavvyspirit.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, it is time to say goodbye, my friends. I wish you all a good night, a good morning, a good day, wherever you are on this earth. I wish you well, and I'll see you next week.